Welcome to today's episode. If you're interested in the intersection of crypto memes and tax law, then stay tuned. Our guest today is Harrison Dell, an Australian tax lawyer with experience in both the public and private sectors. If you want to gain insights into capital gains tax, crypto tax, and international taxes as they relate to Web3 and crypto projects, this episode is for you. Get ready for an enlightening discussion filled with expertise and practical tips on navigating the tax landscape in the crypto world. Stay tuned for more valuable insights from Harrison Dell.
Hi guys, thank you for joining us for this awesome podcast. Today, again, we have Harry. So talk about all about tax and meme coins and tokens and cryptocurrency and what's around it. And there's no perfect time than this, given it's a magical time of the year, right? Harry?
It's like Christmas, financial Christmas, in a mad way, where they take you. I'm very popular from about this time till about September, and then people forget about me. So don't forget about me, gentlemen.
It's like Tom Cruise just before the Top Gun. Doing the road tour. All right, I guess let's get into it, hey?
Let's do it.
Cool. All right. So Harry, this is the season for meme coins, right? Meme tokens, and everyone is talking about it. Even Donald Trump got a few. Iggy got some as well. So celebrities are really getting into it, like this time around. It doesn't not to say like they didn't before, but now they're like really openly getting into it. So yes,
we're like, no security laws on meme coins? Let's go for it.
There's the political ones. There's everything. Yeah,
right. So my thing is, I just want to talk about like what has changed, like in the past. You know, with the whole crypto.com, FTX, and we had a few things going on there, right, with the celebrities. And I thought because of what happened last time, it might just keep a few celebrities, out of the game until they, work out, okay, how much risk I can take. But this time around, it's like really pumping. So what's changed? Like,
well, they all got burned with FCX. That was the big one. When, Tom Brady and Bill Clinton and Drake and whoever else were, saying how good FTX is, that it turned out to be not good, suddenly they had a bit of liability. And I don't really know how far that liability actually went.
Yeah.
They were just paid to their services. But there was some kind of liability and they got scared. Reputational damage.
Yeah.
But this time, it's like, well, it's just meme coins. It's like the digital definition of snake oil. Of like, it doesn't have to do anything, but people will still buy it. It's like even better than snake oil.
Yeah.
So, there was, I think there's a MAGA token now, a Donald Trump one.
Yeah.
Which was official. Like he did an NFT collection, I think, last year as well.
Correct.
Yeah. I still think I'm dreaming when I hear this stuff. It's ridiculous. Like a lot of them are completely unaffiliated as well, and they just go off the reputation. So, and there's been no real consequences for anything because they don't promise anything. What are you going to do? Hold them accountable to do nothing? It's quite a nice little market because there's potential upside and no real liability.
So pretty much, does it open like the floodgates? Like, I mean, like it has already opened the floodgates, but does it open for like even any company or anyone to just do I know there'll be some, like you said, like brand wise, there'll be some repercussions when the crypto market goes up and down. But how does it, like the guy, these celebrities are in the US. We know what the US crypto laws are like, but they're still just pumping, those tokens.
Yeah.
How does it really work in that sense? Because from my understanding, it's like full on, like, the securities, laws in the US. So
a big part of the securities laws, I'm by no means an expert in how we test security laws and everything, but a big part of it is how they raise money. And it's about, am I inducing people to buy this or invest in this because I am telling them that it will go up. That I'm promising, giving them some kind of indication that you buy this, you should make money, even if I give them disclaimers and such. So like when I'm raising money for my company, I go, you give me money and company does thing and I give you more money back, maybe. And they go, security issuance in that case. A lot of the meme coin, at least the initial raises, they're either private, like very private, the people who made it, or they just like literally release it with like almost no liquidity on a DEX. Send it. And that didn't used to work very well, but for meme coins it does, because it's about the volume and the trading and the taxes on it and all sorts of things. But then it's about how they market it after the fact. If they're saying buy some Slurf because we think Slurf's going to go up, that's when it starts to get a bit dicey. But they don't really do that. They just shitpost on X. And my favorite one was Slurf when they burnt the $10 million of funds that they raised, which was
yes.
and now it's like it's going to be huge. And it's like the dumber the better. Like people aren't looking for tell me thing will go up. They don't even care. Like they just buy it anyway.
Yeah.
And it's great because it's sort of it's a bit of a workaround of this how we test nonsense, because there's no inducement to do anything. Trade dumb when you make money. It's great. This is such a great narrative right
now. my thing is like the crypto people, how they twist and turn around these the laws. It's like, for me, I'm like, wow, they've the money market always stuck to the laws. I guess, like, I don't know, I think they did, like maybe not,
like 60% of the time, maybe. Yeah, we'll say.
But in the crypto, I feel like it's constantly doing something, right? You always say, Charlie, like, these crypto bros, they always, you get to learn more about finances by being in crypto than not being in crypto.
Yeah. And I guess it's that fluidness of the market, and also people's attention span in this day and age, like real short attention span, so you can have good runs and then it's the next thing and the next thing. Like, remember when it was only like maybe 2 months ago, but it feels like a year ago, with the ERC 404s coming out, and then that was a whole craze, and then now we got meme coins, and this one's probably bigger at this point with the celebrities, because they've got the reach that'll bring in a lot of normal people. But they have to realize that it's very short-lived. It's like a TikTok. You scroll through and find the next TikTok.
So I have been seeing, like, this is recent, they're talking about MemeFi, and it's sort of like you've got serious DeFi, you've got Curve and Aave and stuff. Then you've got like unserious DeFi.
Yeah.
It's all jokes, and it's like leverage on Pepe at 69% liquidation. Right? Like stuff like that. And like while it's dumb, and then those two are never really going to mix.
Yeah.
The unserious money will evolve and do something that the serious money couldn't ever do. That's what I think is I think, like, meme season, it's been sticking around way too long. Like, inscriptions came and sort of died a bit, other things came and died a bit, but the memes have just continued.
Memes are always the culture, right? I think it doesn't matter what time or what like part of the world is, the memes always translates in some way, in some message,
Well, never underestimate the power of the meme. One meme can change the world.
Like, I still remember Goblin Town. That was like,
yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Free season was down, and the goblins came out, and it was a free mint. It was just the dumbest thing you'd ever seen, and that's why it was so good, because the market was just dumb. And like, I know people that they set some silly price on OpenSea for their goblin at like 10 ETH. It got swept up as the floor moved up to 14, and
it's just mental.
It's like the dumbest things, and it's just it's kind of akin to airdrop farming. That was also dumb money as well. It was just like, do silly things in a new blockchain and free money. And
free money.
It doesn't really last as free money. It's got to evolve to the next thing. Yeah. So maybe MemeFi will be the next narrative, and then we can refer to this podcast as.
Yeah. I mean, like, we know, a few people are doing a platform at the moment, like in Australia, right? With the MemeFi, I would say, like around that side.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Did you see how, like, the president of Ukraine accidentally tagged the International Meme Fund, not the actual IMF, in a post?
No,
I seen that. Yeah, I seen that yesterday. I was like, classic.
Yeah. They didn't even correct it either. They just like left it there.
Oh my god, that's a meme in itself.
Yeah. It being writes itself.
Oh my god. So, Harry. So, for example, that's on the meme side, right? At the moment, that that's going on, and we know there's tax implication does not change whether there's a meme coin or a non-meme coin, right? Say for example, whether if you get in at I don't know $10, and if it goes to like 10,000, for example, that's still a tax liability there.
Almost always, 99.99% of the time, there's always going to be those cases where it could be, you didn't buy it because you thought it would go up. You bought it for your personal use. And I'm seeing lots of NFTs claim that exemption. A bit harder with meme coins.
Yeah.
But I know of someone, and he buys, 69,000 tokens in every meme coin project that gets created on Solana. And like, he wasn't intending to make money, and he kind of accidentally did. So there's potential for it to be personal use asset, potential, but it will be very difficult to prove. So yes, short answer, yes, tax gets everything, as it always does.
That's always does, isn't it? So how does it differs from that to a, like, say, stable coin, for example? What are the tax? So stable coins is a crypto asset.
Yeah, a crypto asset is the term that I use most broadly to describe everything. But a stable coin like USDT or USDC, it's effectively a convertible note. So those ones are actually a little bit particular because they have a utility which is to swap one for one with USD. And there's Australian equivalents like AUDD, for instance. But the stable coins sort of sit in a world of their own. And then there's the actual volatile crypto assets which get swapped into stable coins, which effectively prices it. Everything is, as you know. So stable coins are like a little bit more sacred. For some reason, still largely unregulated. And I like to think of if the Commonwealth Bank needed capital, because they need to have a certain amount of capital to operate, they've got to raise more tier one capital by issuing notes. And they do that every year or two.
Are you looking to integrate your business systems with cutting-edge AI technology? Our expert team is here to help you use the power of AI to innovate, streamline, and enhance your current business operations. Contact us today at 1-800-870-200 or visit blockstars.com.au.
And they've got to pay interest on the funds that they raise. But you're giving your money to Tether for free. So every USDT that you hold, Tether is making yield on it with something. And it's the equivalent of tier one capital, but there's no interest that you get. And that's kind of shit. And the reason that they don't do that is because if they did, then they'd be a bank.
Then it'd be exactly, right? Yes.
They'd start to look like a bank at least. So they go, well, let's not do that. And they posted like 7 billion profit last quarter, Tether did. So it's good business, clearly, stable coins, but it's very different to random crypto assets because they're more like payment rails than they are, degenerate stuff.
Then, yes.
So on that one, Harry, like say if we go to the USDT and we're here in Australia and the US dollar goes up compared to the Australian dollar, and then I use those stable coins to sell them or buy something, is there a tax implementation there?
So under capital gains tax, there would be, just like if you held Bitcoin and it went up, because your currency that you account with is Australian dollars. So if you held an AUD stable coin, you can't have that risk because it's always going to be the same. USD one, it will change, and it doesn't get brought to account under the foreign exchange rules, which operate differently, and they actually have like an exemption up to, I think it's 250,000 or 100,000. I can't even remember. Which is exempt basically gains and losses. So there are people that have campaigned to say crypto should be in the foreign exchange regime, but we don't invest in crypto assets like we do foreign currencies because they don't spike like that. Like having 100K exemptions is kind of a bit inappropriate. So if you wanted to buy USD and you're going to hold it for quite a long time, you might be better buying USDT and getting a 50% discount.
Yeah.
Whereas if you did it under the foreign exchange rules, you don't get a discount. You just get.
Oh, I see.
So yeah, I've seen cases where it's if very niche. If you want to like, speculate on some currency, some stable coin will offer it, and you're happy with that risk, because Tether can just shut up shop any day they want.
Any day they want.
Then you could technically get a better tax outcome with stables than you could with FX.
It's funny that I just saw an news article come up on here in the dashboard saying that the founder of DAI Maker saying like, if you got the chance, he would just strip everything and start everything from ground again. So I don't know whether what that what that will do for DAI.
Well, they're very entrenched with how much ETH they've got locked up. I assume they would have billions of dollars worth.
Yeah, that could be. So just going now towards the tax side of things. We got like few more days before we really officially get our tax done. So because I think I'm on the 1st of July, boom, out of the way. I just get it done. I don't know why I even do that. Actually, I get forced to do that. So that's out of mind, out of sight, out of mind. We don't have to think about it at all after that.
Yep.
So my question is around that. So what is it good to do it on the 1st of July, or is there a benefit of doing it later on when it comes to the crypto side of things?
10 years, still wait a little bit, just a bit, because I assume Blockstars pays you some money for what you do. Well, they should if they don't, but it takes like 4 or 5 days for that to push through the ATO systems, and it all starts to pre-fill, and all your non-crypto stuff like the interest from your bank account, if you've got that dirty fiat nonsense, it'll start to populate there. And like your health insurance, all that crap.
Yeah.
That'll all start showing up. So usually it's good to wait till, the 10th or 15th of July if you really want to lodge early. But if you've made money in crypto and it's only in the last sort of 12, 18 months, you probably will have a bill. If you lost money, you won't have a bill, but you've lost money. So that sucks even more. But so like lodging early, generally not a great idea. If you don't, you can always do a draft of your tax return and just not press the button till you're ready.
Correct.
That's what a lot of people do. Having a tax agent means you can extend that out a lot further. But we're in June. Yeah. Let's talk about July stuff in July, because in June there's stuff you should do before financial year. So if you've bought meme coins and they've gone to zero, you need to dispose of them to trigger that CGT loss on them. Otherwise, you might have capital gains and then be down really bad on your meme coins. But if you haven't actually sold them and triggered that CGT, then you may still have a bill. And the hard snapshot date is 30 June when that happens.
I see.
So that cashes out a lot of people. Is they're down really, really far on something and then they didn't sell.
Oh yeah, I better get that sorted out.
And with that, Harry, I'm seeing there's a whole heap of new tax incentives for everyone that's been on TV or the radio. Did they put anything for us crypto degens, or there's no changes whatsoever? Just
you get $300 off your electricity bill and you'll be happy, Charlie.
All that minus running.
All right. Nothing. So all that was mentioned in the budget with crypto was the financial services licensing regime, which was already being consulted with and announced. So it was kind of a waste of space. There's been no interaction between government and crypto tax since 2018.
Yes,
nothing. Maybe 2019. It's been a long time, and I don't expect anything soon either. So I expect this is the way things will be for the next 5 years at least. So
now that we're
used to it.
Do you think I thought it would be changing a little bit fast now, given that now we got couple of ETFs going as well here. I thought that will sort of looking at, okay, how can we reform or bring some better...
They're making too good a money.
Oh my God.
Just do nothing.
I wouldn't even go that far, Charlie. Don't put down to malice what you can to stupidity. And it's really just incompetence. The government has no political capital to expend on fixing the tax system. And they just gave everybody $300 and everybody's upset about it. Like, people $300 because we're like, this is dumb. And no matter what you do with tax, you upset people.
Upset people, right?
Yeah. Why the last major reform that we had was in 1999 with the GST. Wow. Nothing major since. We've been stuck with mostly the same rules. Bit of tinkering around the edges, a new regime for very specific use cases. But I wouldn't expect any change in this space until it becomes an election issue. And tax almost never is, because the last time it was when it was the bloody Labor Party's going to take my franking credits and everybody freaked out. And then somehow the Liberal Party won. Even the Liberal Party was surprised.
Wow. My thing is like, that means like it's like this, right? And I guess like when you keep on adding laws, it's easy to add laws than remove it, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Did you guys see?
Sorry.
That's what Kerry Packer said in his famous budget speech. He said every time you put a new law in, take one away.
Yeah. And did you guys see Elon Musk's tweet over the weekend?
No.
About same thing, regulations and laws keep going, but we don't reset them. And he talked about when there is resets, it's during like World War I or II, when they have to change stuff, and there's sort of a reset and a big culling of certain things.
Yeah.
But then again, we don't want World War III for that to happen.
Are you advocating for World War III? It's not.
You'll have to check Elon Musk's tweet.
No,
but I was like, shit, okay, like, makes sense. But...
Yeah, because I guess that's the reason why that the old, like the British laws, like, oh, you can't have certain food outside, for example, on this day, and it's illegal and all that stuff. I
love the silly one.
That is silly old.
So I guess like we'd have all those ones left out in about another 120 years, like in the crypto space. Like, oh, why would you even bother with this stuff? Like stagnated.
Yeah.
So
we've got one, I think, in Australia, and I can't remember the source right now, but our corporations law and our tax law together are the longest of any country in the world.
Wow.
But our corporations law isn't the longest, and our tax law isn't the longest, but together, any other countries, because we use both.
Oh, wow.
Jeez.
We just don't remove laws. We don't. There's a whole bunch of rules in the old tax acts from the 1930s, which are like kind of there, and they dissuade people from doing stuff. But you could bin them because no one does that anymore. We've got other things that capital gains tax. A whole bunch of the schemes they defeated in the 40s aren't relevant anymore because the CGT would capture it anyway. So yeah, I'm a big fan of let's wind it back a bit so we can give it a bit of a reset. But
yeah,
we've had. Sorry, I'm going to go on this point. We've had 3 major tax reviews in the past 50 years. I think less than 2% of the recommendations were ever actually done, and yet we still have got like a ridiculous amount of laws. So,
and Harry, on that, why do you think it's only the 2%? Like, what's that reasoning? Are they worried of removing or changing stuff, backlash, or what's they're just happy to keep it going the same as it's been for the last 20 to 50 years?
I think it's just keep the Ponzi going, have a couple of key laws and done some stuff. Like, there's no incentive to really remove laws. There's incentives for, we've got a new regime for, stopping heroin in Australia, and then do that. But it's just another law. And it doesn't really work that well when you consider everything else it was mostly already dealt with. There's a lot of that. It's a lot of politics, unfortunately, in politics.
I guess you run the risk of, you don't know by removing this, what have you got tied up with all that stuff as well, right? It will be like the bigger it is. You just don't want to. It's like rewriting the Bitcoin protocol, wouldn't it? Like, you just don't know, like, by adding something, what would you introduce, or
introducing UTXOs, and suddenly there's a whole meme culture around it.
Segue. Yeah. So it's crazy. Alrighty. So, Harry, with regards to the crypto assets, what do you see at the moment? What is the biggest misconceptions you hear in your profession? Like, I know because some people are like, okay, look, I can delay it for as long as I can, and then maybe 7 years after, someone is not going to find out about it, whatever, right? Are you planning to launch a blockchain project? At Blockstars, we specialize in developing blockchain projects from your initial idea to the final product. To launch your successful blockchain project, drop us an email to hello@blockstars.com.au. Someone told me that. I'm like, okay, I'm not sure about that. But what are the misconceptions that you hear from your side?
Mate, I still hear at least once a week someone goes, "Is crypto's taxable? Is it?" Yeah, bro. It wouldn't be my job unless there was some tax to deal with. Actually, that's kind of when it clicks, when they're like, someone's spending time and money doing this, probably because there's a reason. There's that one. And next biggest misconception is you can just yeet yourself over to Dubai and pay no tax. Not correct. Australia has exit taxes, and you can avoid those exit taxes by electing to just pay tax in Australia still on those assets in the future. It's a big problem that people have, and there are restructure steps you can do to deal with it, or sometimes they can't. They're very fact specific. So I see a lot of people say, "I'll just move to Dubai and sell my Bitcoin there," and I'm like, "Well, mate, I'm going to go sit on the toilet and sell mine. We'll get the same outcome." So there's a huge one on that. There's huge ones on, my crypto is not in Australia, and I'm like, "Yeah, dude, it's on the blockchain or it's in an exchange. It doesn't have a location.
Yeah,
it's a piece of data." And they go, "Oh, I've never interacted with KYC exchanges." It's like, well, sure, but how are you going to get it out? There will be a link, and if law enforcement have enough to chase you, then they can piece it together.
Yeah,
I think people really underestimate the tools that are out there that corporates can buy for KYC and KYC procedures, let alone governments investigating financial crime. I think it was about a month ago. The IRS was actually in Australia training the ATO and other government organizations on crypto tracing.
Yeah.
That should scare some people who haven't been doing the right thing to a large degree. Because it can be traced with enough effort. And that means matching stuff. That means using your IP. That means, going really deep. That means doing so many things that people don't know exist. There is a lot of tools available for law enforcement. So don't piss them off too much, and they won't have to apply those tools. And the easiest way to do that is to just pay your tax. It was Al Capone that was gotten for tax fraud, not for anything.
Yes. Yeah, that's right. After doing everything, he just got done for tax evasion. That's crazy.
And on that one, and on that one, Harry, don't the exchanges here that are based in Australia submit all their customer data to the ATO, or there's something they obviously work together? Because I know my sister, I got her to buy a bit of Ethereum on, I think it was CoinSpot or something like that.
Not wrong.
And I've been trying to get her to do that one too, but this was going back quite a few years ago. And she went to her account and she forgot about it. She just bought $200 and it's just been sitting there for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And she went and submitted her tax with her account, and they're like, "Oh, you own crypto?" And she's like, "Huh?" And they're like, "Yeah, you own crypto." And she's like, "Oh yeah, I got $200 sitting here." And they're like, "Yeah, we need that information." So they already knew when she had actually forgotten that she bought it years ago.
Yeah. The ATO has a data matching program, and I think 2016 to 2020, they had one in place as well. They just put another one in place for crypto exchanges. They have a special power where they can require anybody to give information that they hold to the ATO. They don't have to go to court and get a subpoena. That's another misconception people have. No, they can just require that you give it. And it's a pretty broad and draconian power. It's not often used inappropriately, but I've seen it used wrongly. But they send those letters to some digital currency exchanges, not all of them.
Yeah.
And they get their data and they integrate it into their data warehouse for analytics. For instance, there's a new digital currency exchange that I'm doing some work with, and they haven't got one yet. But I do know that the ATO and AUSTRAC work very closely. and especially the bigger exchanges are being monitored. And all the data can be gotten anyway, either through your bank account, seeing where it's going, and then ring up X exchange saying we need this guy's details, and they'll just hand it over because they're allowed to by law.
Yeah, because last time when we had in our podcast, we had Rob, who's a crypto investigator and works for one of the major exchanges, and he's on the coast, and he was saying pretty much the government just ask and they just give pretty much. You don't have like a subpoena.
They're not going to protect your data. Like, here you go, mate. See you later. Like, they're not going to die on a hill for you. I think, like, you've got to sort of realize that and the offshore exchanges have been getting a bit of a hammering recently as well. So KuCoin, I've got like 1 billion emails from KuCoin saying that ASIC has been up their ass about their futures products and they're all turning them off for Australians. And it's like, yeah, okay. So like there is a bit of reach that they've got. If it's a US exchange, for instance, no doubt someone in Australia pick up the phone to someone in the US and say, we need this data. They'll probably give it to them.
Yeah, that's,
so you've got it. Like, there's no way to not have your data go anywhere. Yeah. Although a couple of ways, but I don't want to talk about how people should money launder.
No, exactly. Later. Yeah. So we are advising how to evade tax, right? Maybe minimizing it.
Even if you're money laundering, you still got to pay tax. So let's say in hindsight. So anyway,
cool. Have you got any questions, Charlie, from your side?
No. I'm good. I'm good.
And so before we finish, Harry, what advice would you give to not everyone, but mainly for the crypto bros? Like, what should they look out for? What are the best practices?
All right. The two things is they should be managing their if you're in meme coins, this applies for that. If you're managing the dead projects, make sure you trigger that CGT at some point. And you can do that by just transferring it to a friend or just gifting it away or whatever it is you want to do. There are some burn addresses, especially on Ethereum, which is just all the X's, X0 dead, I think it says at the end, which I thought was funny. The other one is if you're heavily into trading or investing, you should be using a tool like Crypto Tax Calculator, which can calculate in like real time for the year. You've made $100,000 this year so far. And if you've made $100,000 that year so far, you should have enough in stables, at least, preferably cash in a bank account, ready to pay that tax bill. Because like times are good now, but in 2 years, in 1 year when you get your tax bill and your portfolio's down 50% and then you get a 30K tax bill, like that's when it stings really bad and you've got nothing to show for it. If you get that amount to the side, you can only piss away 75 grand, not 100 grand. Like I've seen some really sad stories of people going bankrupt because they haven't accounted for their gains properly. So it's boring, but you've got to have those assets somewhere safe. So you can at least invest next cycle and not go bankrupt.
Cool. I guess on that note, we can finish it off. Thank you so much, Harry.
Sorry for the downer at the end.
No. Look, I think this is about like best practices, right? And if you want very customized advice, you definitely should contact Harry. So Harry, how can they? If anyone wants to get advice, how can they reach you?
Best way is through our website, which is www.cadenalegal.com.au. You can find me on LinkedIn if you really want. You can find me on TikTok as well. Should make some of those silly TikTok videos again. I'm on Instagram a bit. I think I'm on Facebook as well. I'm on Twitter, but the best way is through the website because that's how we manage all our inquiries. If you think you need some advice but not ready right now, still ask us now so we can put you in the list because it's going to be a busy year from July, I expect.
100%. Yeah, we'll definitely put your contact details in the video when we submit this one, the podcast, so that everyone got access to those links. And again, Harry, thank you so much. And we'll see you around.
Thanks, Billy. Thanks, Charlie. See you next time.
Cheers, Mary. See ya.
See you, mate.